Hello, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about war games shows and sharing some opinions. Just been to Claymore today. Last month I was at the Joyous 6 War Games show. Obviously, I've been at Carronade. Over the course of years, I've been to quite a few war game shows in the north. Triples, Vapn Attack, Harrogate when they were running a show as well. Not been to any of the big ones down south, Salute or Partizan or anything like that. But I do have opinions I want to share. It's one of the reasons I do Wargames video vlog thing. In case you don't know, this I'm wearing this shirt here. This is going to be our new club logo, the ACVC Wargames. It's doing it back to front because I'm in camera, aren't I? The AC. Oh, look at me, hands all over the place. So, based in Glasgow. There we go. Get it right. This is Napoleon at Borodino. Last year we did the Borodino event, and the traffic cone normally sits on Wellington's head, so it'll be really good. So yeah, that's the shirt I'm wearing. But anyway, back on the farm, wargame shows. So in Scotland, there's 3 wargame shows. One I've not been to, Muir. One Edinburgh, one in Falkirk. There's also been one in Glasgow that's happened, that's stopped happening, and another one set up in Glasgow that ran for a couple of years before COVID hit it. It'd be really nice to have one in Glasgow, but actually, we're well served with Edinburgh and Falkirk. I think traditionally Edinburgh, Claymore was the biggest. I think Carronade and Falkirk has overtook it. I'm going to apologise for the glare on my glasses. It's that time of night when it's just glasses glare off the screens. I don't know how to stop it. Yeah, that's just what it is. But anyway, back on the farm. If I take off, I'm squinting. I just can't see a thing. So the traditional wargame shows, and by that I mean you've got clubs putting on tables, probably in the middle of a sports hall, traders around the outside. Both of them are based around schools. So Falkirk has a dinner hall and a gym hall and a corridor in between. It's also got 2 rooms upstairs, one for extra games, one for the flea market. The classroom upstairs also has the painting competition area, whereas Edinburgh has like a big atrium lunch bit for the college. Then you can go outside through a courtyard, and then you've got like a gym hall, and then you've got another kind of gym area where the bringer buys. I think that's it's a very dark room. And they're both traditional wargame shows. And I think they're on a decline. Certainly there were less traders, noticeably so at Claymore. Carronade had less traders. The wee corridor in between normally has traders and didn't have as many this year. And it felt like there were less games at Claymore. Certainly, I saw less English clubs at Claymore. I think I was chatting to some English clubs in Carronade. A couple of things might be happening there. The economy, it's getting expensive to fill those cars. Certainly, Nottingham to Glasgow and back cost me £130 in petrol last month, and that's before I'm carrying, boards and if I was a business. Edinburgh during the fringe, Edinburgh is just becoming ruinously expensive, and Edinburgh's really busy during the fringe, so that might be impacting on Claymore. Also, Claymore's not the easiest of venues to get to, I suspect, on public transport. It's sort of out on the outskirts of Edinburgh. Falkirk's quite relatively easy to get to, 15 minutes walk away from the bus station, train station in Falkirk. So there might be an element of that happening. But actually, one of the things that Joyous 6 did really well was it was focused. It was niche. So by that I meant everything was 6mm focused. So if you were going to the Joyous 6, you had a real passion for 6mm wargaming. Maybe I want to talk about all the retailers were based around generally 6mm wargaming. But most importantly, there was some panels. Now, I missed the one in the morning, but I saw the one in the afternoon. One in the afternoon had Ken Riley, the Archer Gamer, and I forget the names. two guys known in 6 mil circles who put on some really nice 6 mil tables. So whilst the questions were kind of focused towards 6 mil, it actually became a bit more of a broader conversation where the audience was participating. And I think if we are to look at what we could do with war game shows, it's that sort of thing which is going to add value, keep guests, us visitors, entertained and engaged with. Certainly, I shared a couple of opinions during the panel. One of them was about the cheapness of the hobby, 28 mil, 6 mil. The other one was about how we discover how people sort of engage with and how we recruit new historical wargamers. But imagine if we use those panels, we're able to put on panels. You're going to engage people, you're going to give people more things to do. Because as a show organizer, you cannot guarantee what a trade is going to be like with an individual, and more importantly, what one of your participation demo show-off games is going to be and how people are going to engage with that. You can walk up to tables you really want to talk to about, and the people just don't want to talk to you. Certainly it's happened to me over the last month. They're too engrossed in the game. I'm like, why are you putting it on if you're not going to talk to us? But so you can't guarantee the quality of that visitors' experience to your show based on those elements. But actually, if you put on a panel or put on other things like a painting competition, you can run that panel or painting competition to the quality and standard that you want to. The panel, it wasn't anarchy. It wasn't people just shouting out their opinions, and it was really well organised. I think Pete from Bacchus had to go and somebody else stood in, so the panel trucked along really nicely. And I think people who wanted to talk were able to talk. They felt included, like they'd had an impact on the show, an impact on the conversation. But the panels don't have to be rules writers, don't have to be like the great and good, the best painters or whatever, or talking about how to create a good board. It could be about informing. So, for example, if we're talking about is historical gaming a growing hobby? How can we get fresh blood into it? Imagine if we had a panel where people who had really good experiences running and setting up clubs were able to talk to the audience, talk to people, inspire other clubs, and that becomes a question. We could use them for all sorts of things. Participation games, what games going on, a panel talking about what works, what doesn't work. So it's not left down to people to kind of muddle through that. We kind of maybe talk about what you could do and what some standards would look like. I suspect some clubs and some people would just want to do it their way and engage with themselves on this big game. But there's lots we could do, and that's just scratching the surface. I've always thought if you can add some extra things, because ultimately a panel costs you nothing. It costs you a bit of time for the people who's going to be on the panel. Maybe you need to have some connections. It's going to cost you a compare. It might cost you a bit of extra room set aside, but other than that, and actually, my other thought on war game shows is the time of the big multi-venue venue. I don't mean multi-venue. I mean like multi-scale, multi-size, multi-rule set. Done. Maybe do we need to look at something a bit more niche? I think Lardy Days, from what I can tell, get really well attended throughout the year, and that's kind of a smaller, more niche event. Joyous Six, I'm sure if you'd have said whenever it was set up, I'm going to do a 6 mil only war game show, you say, oh, yeah, that's madness, but it works. So maybe there is scope for something like that. I know Wargames clubs in the Wargame shows in the past used to do competitions. Certainly, I went to a wee one in Penrith, and they were doing competitions alongside the general stuff as well. So maybe thinking about that. What can each show offer, which is their unique selling point, rather than getting shows which become the same? What else about Wargame shows? Actually, I've not had an experience post-COVID where I thought it was overly busy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Overly busy in terms of being rammed. Certainly before COVID, I had experiences of going to shows and people being a bit pushing in and barging in and big bags, etc. Actually, you know what? I've not had an experience where someone's pushed in, pushed me out the way, physically pushed me out the way. I'm a big guy. I'm over 6 foot, um, and people are pushing me out the way to get into look at shops or trade stands or into the bring and buy. So actually, I think the standards of personal behaviour, personal hygiene as well. I've not had experience over the last couple. Joyous Six, okay, at Claymore Carronade, where I thought somebody's personal hygiene was really bad. There was one guy at the Joyous Six whose personal hygiene was atrocious. He was next to me in the panel show. I don't want to name and shame, but it was probably the worst I've ever experienced at a war game show. But that's not the show organizer's fault. But yeah, so actually post COVID, personal hygiene's been really good. Personal space has been really good. And being able to stand and chat with people and not feel we're in people's ways. So yeah, what is the future for wargaming? If traders are not going to be visiting wargame shows as much, and I can understand the reasons why, and actually we're starting to see some businesses start to retire and sell on their stuff. So if they're not going to visit wargame shows as much, and it's never been easier to buy wargames figures, then there'll be less reason the traditional draw of wargame shows being able to go and buy stuff. One of the traditional draw, one of the biggest ones. We love buying stuff in the hobby. What then do wargame shows need to do to attract people? I think what we might end up with is the big shows will attract retailers, especially the bigger retailers, and other shows will struggle to attract the bigger retailers, and that becomes a downward circle if your show is just relying on retailers. I mean, I've spoken at length about panels, but actually the quality of participation in demo games, I think there's a show down south, Partisan or something, where everything has to be a game where you can sit at a table and join in. I think that stuff like that becomes important. So yeah, so I would want to put it out there that I think there is space for us to innovate our clubs, our shows, innovate what we offer, and yeah, make sure that our biggest window out facing in the wargame and historical wargaming world is our shows, and start thinking about making them the best, the most inviting, the most welcoming they can be. I am enjoying my post show beers. So I want to chat about some of that stuff. Really interested to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. It's one of the great things. Ask 100 wargamers their opinion, you'll get 101 answers. I often say that in terms of a bad thing, but actually I think it's also a really good thing. There's lots of really good stuff happening out there. I think if we share and learn and yeah, yeah. Anyway, finish my beers. It's been really nice chatting to you. I look forward to chatting to you in another video. And I think just like the social media werewolves ask you to do, like and subscribe. No, I'm joking. If you like it, you like it. If you want to subscribe, you want to subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching. I look forward to chatting to you in another video.